Alright, here we go again. This time wounded water speeding against Russia 6. And just to get this out of the way, there's two versions to play this matchup when you're playing solo. And I'm not going to take the responsible route here, I'm afraid. I usually try to play what I believe is, I'm not sure if literally the best, but at least like a very good strategy to showcase how you would best try to counter the adversary. I decided not to do that here because I felt like it. Yeah, let's see how it goes. So what I mean, of course, is that we are going to play for animal cards, which is the thing, and that works if you play in true solo. But I would not recommend it. This, for example, would be a great card, amazing card, if you played this the responsible way. A snap pack this card for sure. As the responsible way is to play water, draft Blight Heals, and downgrade all the explorers. I'm going to play animal, and that means I'm going to draft one of these two instead. And I'm not sure which of the two I want, honestly. So the reason is that I just think it's more interesting. That's why we're doing that. It's not better. It usually works, but it's risky because you will drop these Russia cards during your fear deck really quickly. You create a ton of fear, and you will kind of have to rely on the fear cards to bail you out at some points in the game. But they usually do, and it's a lot of fun. The responsible way is to play water. Anyway, Inflame has better elements, I would say, probably, than Devouring Ants, but it's pretty close, honestly. Both require a Sacred Side, which, for animals is okay. I don't value the Sea highly against Russia, and Strife is so-so. I might be going with Devouring Ants, since it can destroy it can affect two explorers. And it goes with the theme of, what if we created a million fear? So this has to go here. So I'm gonna start with Wunderkraft Blood. Go for animal here. And then, yeah. I might, at a later point in time, also create a video about how you're supposed to play this matchup. And also how you're supposed to play it in multiplayer always. This thing can only work in solo, since you will need all the fear cards you can get to mitigate the insane tempo the adversary will have. Anyway, we've played Boon of Corrupted Blood. Use it here, it will create a fear and ping the explorer. I'll choose this land, since I'm gonna let it go through if it comes up anyway. Tight-knit communities, we are skipping that event. So they don't build here and they're building a city there. That works for me. We'll also probably take a bunch of blight, but I mean, even the water build does that. And in this specific game, with drafting blight here, you can kind of stay healthy even maybe with the water build, but if you go animal, you blight 100% of the time. Anyway, enough about builds. Sanguinary Taint, one fear, and then we ping this explorer, pushing him somewhere else for one more fear, maybe into here. I think into here. As you know, that is not going to come up next turn. Alright. Time passes. Draft a miner. Great cards. At least I saw one good card so far. So, one kind of difficulty with this specific board is that your beast both start in here, which means by the time the first escalation comes up, you will have no choice. You will have to place two explorers here, and it will very easily create a 3 explorer stack. Those are good cards, I have to say. So, Mesmerize, not that great against Russia, since you can only use it against a single explorer, not explorer plus town, but it has great element in the 0 cost. Nature's Sicilians, crazy good card. 6 defense, easily worth having a sacred set for. This is a 0 cost, Gold Settler, and I wouldn't hate that. mostly for the elements and being zero cost. Koto Microwave seems like the weakest card here for sure. I have to gather this. I think I'll do that. So I don't have my blights in the same type of lands. Would probably be okay, but if we ever get into a situation where both of these lands start becoming problematic, I'd rather only one of them have blight. Alright, but back for my cards. The issue kind of is that I wouldn't hate defending that with Nature's Resilience, but really my Dahan are not in position. Mesmerized Tranquility, the Isolate might print an Explorer. Goldseller, it will actually allow me to hit one more threshold of my innate. And I think that's probably good. Probably better than Goldseller in this instance. Yeah, let's trash that. As for what I'm gonna play this turn, so they're going to Ravage here and Blight, which means I don't take Russia 6. They're going to not build here, but then Blight next turn. And ideally I would want to find a way to deal with this. I could Mesmerized, but I wouldn't hate playing Devouring Ants here. Doesn't get better next turn. It only a single element card. Which turn 1 and 2, no matter if you play cards with animal or animal water cards, you will only ever hit one level of the innate, barring elemental help from somebody else. So I like playing cards that have a single element in the early 2 turns, and then have my double element cards for later, where they can actually trigger 2 different innates at the same time. Alright, let's drop the event. Search for new lands. I have to push Explorers, yeah, I hate that. But I think it's okay. I cannot push into here, I'm not gonna push into there, right? So if I'm gonna push here into a mountain, then I'm gonna push here into wetlands, I guess. I really liked how my Explorers are set up before, so if you ask me, this is kinda terrible. But what will you do? And that is also terrible. It requires that I push this beast to this land, and there's no other play there. And so the beast then dies, and I get +1, my last condition advances. I mean, why? Well, push this into, I wanted it to be in there. That was intentional, man. Maybe that? I did not draft the defend, did I? It's terrible, all of it. I'm not sure what the best land is for that. Yeah, I guess do it here. The issue is, with the way they're set up, my Sanguinary Taint will no longer be enough to clear any land in slow. And the lands that I can Devouring Ants, and therefore, like, if I push, say, 2 Explorers into here, I could say, I'm not just Devouring Ants them in slow. But the issue is that the very lands that Devouring Ants affects are also the lands that are active this turn. So exactly the lands I do not want to push stuff into. I mean, at least not the empty lands. And yeah, that is just terrible luck. What do I do next turn then? I guess one of them can be wrecked and the other can be let through. I guess that's what we're doing. Okay, whatever. I'll live. Okay, Dahan defense. Which means if I push into here, he would die. So let me revert that. That is, by the way, the reason you're supposed to read the entire event before you do anything. But of course I'm impatient and I don't do that. Or I should do that. Anyway, so at the start, we started at, I think, in this board state, right? So the first thing we did was we pushed. Let me now push into here. and he still pushes into, say, here. Then the second is still pushes the beast and pushes him into, I don't know, back here maybe? Yeah. I have not reverted the fear, so I don't have to add the fear again. I think this is just where we stand. And then in Ravage, at least I get one fear out of that, because it's defend 2 due to the event. Also get a fear card. 1 fear per board with invaders and Dahan. Invaders basically don't do damage to Dahan in this land, who cares? Alright, so this ravages 1 fear and push him back into here, let's say. Then this ravages and destroys the beast. This is the beast counter. It can also be seen here at the destroyed beast count. It can never be more than the number of beasts on the border I lose instantly. Yeah, ever more. So it's not like a check at the end of quick or something like with HME. So yeah, that thank you event happened. Alright, then they build. Nothing builds here, nothing builds here. And then mountain. I've chosen in this instance to only push 1 explorer into here. Well, to only push non-explorer into here before, which means that now there's only 1 in there and I can sanguinary tainted, and I think that is what I should do. Actually, I could kill the city there instead, but I think I'd rather solve next turn's problems instead of like later problems. 1 fear for sanguinary taint. Another fear for pinging him back into here. And no Dahan to push. And then 1 fear for devouring ants. And then 2 damage either here or there. One thing I could be doing is I could be killing that town, but also I could kill 1 explorer and push the other. And I think this is what I'm going to do. Going to kill that explorer and then push him into here for 1 more fear. Just let's try to minimize explorer count on the board and the rest will be fine. This is also why water is so good here. Water is good at minimizing explorer count. At least I'm seeing animal cards. The last thing I would have wanted to see here was a draft without animal. Alright, let's look at that. This is a turn 3 card. If you're playing like 1 animal, 1 element, say animal, and you have a single off element card, off element as in the other element that you're not healing, then you should play turn 4 and try to hit both of your innate there, so it at least contributes something. It's not good on the other turns, generally speaking. Wild the Knight's Hunt is not bad against Russia. Could solve this land for sure. Because it does 1 damage per invader, and 1 damage per invader is all we need, right? Would push into here, into there, that is fine. I think it's better than Promises of Protection. Also, since I will now be turn 3 in a second, I will have this power. So let's just put it here first. I also already have a Sun card. Zero cost would be nice, but I already have drafted a 0 cost. And you have enough energy even if you draft only 1 cost cards. Alright, so we're playing Wild the Knight's Hunt, and then we're playing 1 card that has both elements, so we hit level 2 of Sanguinary Taint. That is what we're going for here. So Wild the Knight's Hunt on land 6, and then that will create a fear. Would be fun if we only added the last fear in slow. You can of course never rely on that. But currently, barring events, this is where we are. I don't think I want to mesmerize here. I don't think the escalation counts as explore, no. And as such, I think it can be added to lands that are isolated. Otherwise, I would probably isolate this and make it escalation proof, which, yeah, is a good reminder. We will be spawning 2 explorers there, so chances aren't that bad that I have to do something about that in slow. We'll see. Perhaps I'll have to sink and irritate it. Fuck me. Alright, so there's another option here. I could play something like that. Or something like that. What this would allow me is to hit my water threshold in slow. And could use that for land 7. Could push into here maybe. Yeah. But then I would need to find a use for Mesmerist Tranquility. I'm pretty clear what Veil of the Night's Hunt does for me. Although, maybe I just let it through. Yeah. Give me a second. What about these Dahan? Oh, maybe that's fine. Alright, I guess then the new plan is... Is that good? I think that is about as good as it gets. Move this into here. Not draw any blight into any other lands. I think I'm fine with where they are. Isolate this and look at the event. Seeking the interior. No, local diaspora. In the single land with the most invaders. This game really wants to push invaders out of where they belong so fucking badly, man. Alright, so I get to choose what to do here. This land will not... I think I have to push him into here and him into there is the answer. It's really not what I want. Fucking hate it. I'm not only playing the more difficult, what is it, approach to the adversary, I'm also getting screwed by events. But so be it. This beast creates 1 fear, which now that we don't play Veil of the Night's Hunt, does not gain us another fear card, so it doesn't uncover this card. I think this is good. And then I get to push the Han. Have to. And I don't want to push into here, I cannot push into those 2, so it has to be one of these 2. Kinda bad, honestly. I liked it in 5 way more. Can I push 2? Yeah, but it has to be from this land and they're not doing there. This is just the adjacencies of these lands. Maybe here, I don't know. I could hit that on slow. Let's see the fear card that will save it all. Scapegoats. I like scapegoats. Yeah, sure. In each land, well, it doesn't really do that much here, honestly. It destroys this explorer. I could choose to not destroy it. I could create a fear. So usually the town would destroy the explorer. Instead of dying, it would, due to Russia 2, would be pushed to an adjacent land and create a fear. But this land has no adjacent lands, as it's isolated. Or at least I choose it has no adjacent lands. So this says, if possible, push one of these. But it is not possible, so it just gets destroyed regularly. Destroy 1 explorer as a fear card. Honestly, it's alright. And it also still does not add the fear, which is good. So, take a blight. Don't do anything here. Build here, because fuck me. Build here again. And then... Here we go. Sands Explorer. I think that is alright. I'm not sure what I wanted to see least. Maybe wetlands. Alright, now... Everything just got more complicated. I have not yet used Swell and Spell. I could... Something I'm debating is switching my element from animal to water since I haven't used it yet. I could switch from level 2 Sanguinary Chain to level 2 Swell and Spell, as it can solve land 6. I only need to solve one of these, and I would like to solve the Dahan. To save the Dahan. But honestly, I could also wear the Night's Hunted next turn. It would kill an explorer. Actually, so that means I could push more explorers into there. Interesting. Only up to one, right? So I'm thinking of letting this trade. Killing a bunch of explorers and maybe a couple of Dahan. But not that many Dahan. Basically kill all the explorers but one, push them out, let the town trade with the Dahan. Seems like a good play. And I think Veil of the Night's Hand can do that. And that means one explorer I want to move can go in there. Okay. Then lands that I need to do something about. Land 7. Land 4. I think that's it. That are the urgent lands. Alright, I think I know what I do. I use Bloodwater and Bloodlust on land 1. This will create a fear by pushing that into here. Alright, it's wetlands. Kinda bad. We'll see. Then we will use Sanguinary Taint, I believe, on this. And then I still have open Swell and Spell. And I'll push this into here. I wish I could push more. But yeah, well, if I had a Dahan in there, I could push a Dahan for damage. Hard game is hard. Alright. Maybe I should have played water. Would have been a lot easier on playing water. But then again, what's the fun in that, right? Again, 1, 2, 3. Alright. Where do I want to be? Do I have a card that requires a sacred site? Yes, Devouring Ants. Only after the reclaim, but might still be relevant. From here I can range all the lands that are relevant. And then the second possibility I have is moving a presence. Maybe from here to there, in case I need to let this go. Maybe. Doesn't really matter that much. Should consider throwing this into here. I only need those 2 lands to keep the whole board covered. Alright, I guess. Yeah, that is what we're going with. Then Veil of the Night's Hand. I do 1 damage to each explorer here. And that kills 2 and pushes 1 into... I don't want to push it into land 8. Chungos are currently safe. Push it into here. Then I could draw to the water's edge. The town. But I shouldn't. So here's a question. I think I should have placed into here and drew this to the water's edge. Is that correct? The question is, does it help me or not? And I think the answer is yeah, I guess it does. Alright. I mean, gathering from this land is just so awkward, honestly. I wish I didn't have to do it, but with every land but Shango acting and land 7 not being adjacent to any Chungos, there's just so much I can do. And I think this works due to me hitting my, what is it, roiling water test of ruin in it next turn. Alright, that was my quick. Let's look at the wind. Still healthy for now. Healthy island. I have to build. So now I'm gonna build a city here. Now I'm not sure if this can still be saved. All the events have been net negative, man. But I get to add maybe here? Wilds? I'm not sure. Yes, only that land or land 4, and I think that is the correct land. And destroy 2 amongst land with... Alright, this I love. Ah, fuck, man. Do I though? So, I'm never sure about this. But it might be terrible. I have 2 explorers in land 7 and a beast. I have 1 explorer in land 1 and a beast. And here's the question that I'm never 100% sure of. Some of these beast and token events are implicit on each land event. I think this is, however, on the whole board. If I cheated here, please let me know. But I think the way this works is that I kill 2 destroyer across my whole board, and one of them has to survive due to the Russia rule, even if they are in different lands. I know that some token events will be basically 1 action per land, but since it says on each board, I believe it means that there's a single action for the entire board, which means per action, 1 destroyer. Sorry, each action will leave at least 1 explorer alive. If it's 1 action for the entire board, then 1 explorer survives. If it's 1 action for each land, then 2 explorers survive. Or at the very least, I have to push 1 out of here. But I'm going with the interpretation that this is 1 action for the entire board. So what I want to do is I want to kill one of this explorer and 1 of these. And this explorer in land 1 has to survive. Adds a fear, push into here. The other one dies and does not get pushed into land 8, where it would ravage, or into land 4, where it would ravage. Alright. And then irrelevant, the hand event. Let's see the fear card save us. It would have saved us, honestly. I say that on chess, but in reality, this is kind of how the matchup works. Everything looks terrible, and then you draw fear cards and they do things. So, for example, I could now prevent the blight in land 6 if I wanted to. But I would then Russia escalate into land 8. Which means land 8 has to be given up next turn. I think that is fine, honestly. I will lose the presence, but who cares? I just built a huge stack land, right? Oh, give me a second. I'm in terror level 1. Still mean... No, it doesn't work. It ravages this turn. I thought for some reason that I could push the town. Well, that is terror level 2 and I'm not there yet. So do I want to push anything else? The answer is no. Stuff's kind of exactly where it's supposed to be, as always. Or at least I think so. Alright, but now I can if I want to do that, and I think I want to. Alright, then we ravage. This now means that we took no blight and ravage, so Russia 6 triggers, and we're adding that. But I believe it doesn't trigger a ravage right away. I think it happens after ravage. After the ravage step. Yeah. So the ravage step is over, so this does no longer ravage. Alright. Then we build here. And we build here. And the other 2 lands are empty. Also, the escalation triggers. And I'll have it at 2 into here. And then we explore jungle and wetlands. Alright, and then we're in slow. We will let this go through. Might cost us a beast. My priorities are clearing land 7 and then clearing white jungles. It's kind of awkward. I cannot make use of the Dahan movement of either of these 2 powers because my Dahan are in land 1 and land 6, but well, the events made me do it, is my excuse. I don't really have a town to push except if I push this. feels kind of, what do you say, inefficient. But I think I just don't have a better way to deal with that. Alright, 2 here, push this into here, push that into here. So this cannot have 3 explorers, right? Otherwise it ravages twice. Alright, do that. And that was my... So the first was Wreck with Pen and Creep, the second was Violent Spell. So the only power left is Sanguinary Taint. And I can either use it here to reduce the amount of explorers to 2, which means it only ravages once. Or I can use it on here to get started on the city. But I think I will deal with the city using my other cards, perhaps? Or my innate, yeah. I guess no matter what I do, a beast dies here, right? I was thinking that if I don't use my innate in here, then... Well, my innate is ambiguous. If I don't use Water's Taste of Ruin there, then there will be no beast to die to the Ravage, but I think there will be a beast no matter how I slice it. Could also do something here. Kill an explorer, push the other one into where? Who knows? Maybe there. I think I kill the city. That's what I do. And don't push it to hand. Alright, that was my slow. Time passes. I'm not 100% sure, I didn't do the math, but it might be that I have to drop this turn. Alright, the cards are all bad. Or with that I mean don't have animal. I mean, of course this is Gift of Constancy, but in solo I'm not a fan. And on the Spirit I'm not a fan either. So this land requires my innate to work. And I need to hit either that. Do you have another card with... Yeah, I mean Poison Dew at least has like water and... What is it? Fire? And this has at least fire. And at least a 0 cost. If I play those 2 cards, I still need to play that, right? Because I don't have a second fire card. Yeah, that will make it a bit more challenging. But I think I'm going to draft Poison Dew here. Maybe there is a world in which I just gather a bunch of explorers in a land and then Poison Dew them. So for my last question, or for my last card, could be this. Let me look a second about the kind of place that enables. And I can afford that. Yeah, I can. So, since I need to deal with that, the only way to do that is... Actually, there's 2 ways. I could use Boon of Corrupted Blood to push an Explorer. No, I could only push 2 with that. So that's probably gonna be... I pull a beast into here. I do 5 damage. Kill like a city and damage a city. Push out some stuff into here. Then presumably Boon of Corrupted Blood, the second city. For how much fee in total? I would absolutely drop this. And maybe that is fine. And maybe that is fine, huh? Let's just pretend it is. It might also be that I start reclaim looping. Alright, 1 damage here from Boon of Corrupted Blood. And then let me push say this into here. 1 damage to the city. Then 1 town and 1 explorer do damage to other invaders in here. That is 4 damage, since the explorer does 2 damage against with Russia. And these 2 die. Also 2 extra fear. It's sands plus wetlands. Okay. So mountains are safe. And then I have to push 1 town and 1 explorer. And I'll push them into here. Actually, so the issue with that plan is that I wanted to get this down to less explorers than 3. But I chose to kill a city. And if I do that, then it will still ravage twice. Now that cannot be. So I'll have to revert a bit. But since I've already dropped that card, I need to also make sure that I create the same amount of fear, otherwise it's cheating. So, let's say I have 2 cities here. And I use my Water's Taste of Ruin to kill, say, 1 damage to a city and 4 damage to explorers. This used to be the state of the land. Let's say I gather the beast, I kill these explorers, and 1 damage to a city. That is 1 fear. It's not enough, right? And this explorer is then pushed out. I need to create 4 fear to make up for 2 cities dying. Actually, 2 of them are pushed out. But that works. Then I do... Oh, I see. Okay. So here's how we do it, I suppose. Man, I hate backtracking. And especially I hate it when that happens. Alright. I come in here. I do 2 damage to the city. So I can finish it with Boon of Corrupted Blood. 2 damage to a city. 3 damage to explorers. Kills 2 explorers. Kills the city. Pushes this explorer into here for 3 fear in total. And after that I push the town and I push the explorer into here. 3 fear in total, 4 destruction effects. And I count the explorer moving as a destruction effect here. Then the second thing I do is that I use Veil of the Night's Hand on here to kill 1 explorer, damage that town, and push this into, I don't know, there maybe. Or actually back into here. This would also produce a fear, which is my 4th fear, which then triggers the 2nd fear card, and this is how we got to the 2nd fear, to the 4th fear without killing that city. Man. Boon of Corrupted Blood was used to last at that city. Just, my advice is, just don't make misplays and then have to redo them. That's just never fun. I'm unhealthy, surprisingly. How many cards are there in the Invader discard? 3. This is a bad event. And I cannot pay for it. So, I will have to take a blight. And I'm lucky that there's a town in there, because otherwise I would have had to take the blight on land 8. And I would be very unhappy about that. Instantly we flip. Still healthy. I think I want to see that. And it has me place a blight and say here. Killing that presence. Okay. Alright. Fatalities rise in each land with disease. 1 damage to each invader and 1 damage to each Dahan. Yeah. Sadly, this does not trigger. It can be good at killing invaders, especially explorers against Russia. And I now no longer have lands with the Han since I used to be in here, but I just died there. So actually I don't get any new Dahan events, man, am I right? At least I have 3 level 2 fear cards. Each player chooses a different land with the Han, and each 1 damage and defend 3. It allows me to kill this town. This is the only thing it does. But it does that at least. Alright. Daham reclaim fishing grounds. Each player chooses a different coastal land, and each gather up to 1 Dahan, 1 damage per Dahan. I don't hate it. Do that. Let me think about it for a second though. First of all, is this optional? Yes, I need not do that. Second of all, if I do it here, then it produces a fear, which is good, but it also pushes an explorer, and there's no safe land for the explorer to go to. So I'm choosing not to do that. Just Russia problems, right? Invaders do -1 damage per damage they have taken, irrelevant. On each board in a land matching Ravage card, 1 damage to each. 1 damage each to up to 2 invaders. I love that. I could either kill an explorer here and push him out, or do some damage to the buildings. I have 3 damage left in slow. I actually kind of have 4 damage left in slow. But I think I'd rather use them on here. So I think what I'll be doing is I'll be doing that. Kill 1 explorer, move on. Yeah, and then do Ravage in Sands. This kills my presence, but that was expected. Memory fades to dust. I need to not forget that. But otherwise fine. I don't hate that. And then all the other lands that Ravage don't do anything. Then wetlands don't do anything for another 2 build steps. And sands don't build here because there's nothing, and do build here. And jungles build here and build here. And let's explore. Mountain. Pretty bad. Since this means everything is active. Every single land. And I now need to escalate. Guess I'm gonna escalate into here. Alright. Here's my slow. I think basically the question is, can I win the game in quick? And the answer is maybe. I could definitely clear all the cities in quick. Can I also get enough fear? I need... The answer is probably yeah, maybe. So for that, I can probably clear both cities in quick. So that is 4 fear for sure. And then it will also produce 2 extra fear due to Water's Taste of Ruin. So that will be 6 fear. And that leaves me just 4 fear of the victory. And that means I have to do 4 fear in the slow. This card does maybe 2 fear if I use it on here. And then this does 1 fear, and I just need 1 more fear next. Yeah, I think I win this. Alright. Watch me miscalculate and lose the game. Alright. 1 damage, 1 fear for like Sanguinary Taint. 2 damage to kill the city, 1 damage to the explorer, but it just pushes instead. Alright. Then second thing I do is Bloodwater and Bloodlust, say, I don't know, this land. 1 fear, push the explorer back, who cares? That was the slow. Time passes. Reclaim, gain an energy, gain any cards, they're not relevant. All that's relevant is, I don't know, that card, say. Draw some random card. Gain pay, alright. what I'll be doing is I'll push these Dahan into here with, well, the Knight's Hunt. It will do 1 damage to an Explorer, push a thing for 1 fear. Then I'm not even sure if I needed that. Push this into here for 1 damage to this. Actually, let me do that. Let me revert that. Let me just start with executing. What is it? Water Sister Ruin. Push the beast into here. 1 damage to a city. An explorer and a town do damage, 4 damage to cities, so this dies and this takes 1 more damage. And then 2 fear, and I push these 2 into, who cares, into here. And there I have a city with 1 HP. Now I use Veil the Knight's Hunt, push these into here. 1 less damage, win the game. Yeah. This is how it goes. Like on the board, I don't think I can win. But who cares? You just do so much fear against this adversary if you're going animal. I feel I was quite unlucky this game. I guess most games played a bit earlier, using this strategy into Russia. But also most games have I feel the events were pretty bad for me, like 2 or 3 turns. And I don't recall a single event that was actually good for me. Usually I'm happy if an event does nothing, but actively bad was a bit too often for my taste this game. Drafts were okay, honestly. Nothing to write home about, but I did see Animal for the first 3 drafts, and afterwards it did not matter. Like Poison Dew and Elemental Boon I never even played. Yeah, so that is basically how you do it in true solo if you play Animal against Russia. You just produce so much fear, you will rush through the deck, you will probably have these cards drop in consecutive turns, and it will be really rough on the board, but you only need to kill cities, and you will get to the city victory condition really quickly. And Russia doesn't build a lot, so, you know? And even if often your fear cards will actually help you even preserve board state, and when they don't, like in this instance, you can often just sprint to the victory, sprint to the finish line, and win the game that way. So yeah, that is the way I don't recommend you play this matchup. But I felt like doing it, and it's usually fun and a little bit like dangerous. So yeah, hope you enjoyed that. Good game.